What's up, nerds? It's Jake, and this is Life by eKaJ, episode number 2. And first off, I just want to say thanks a lot for all the feedback on my first video. I'm pretty sure it's at like 110 likes or something like that, which is really cool. So I really appreciate anyone who tried to reach out to me or just tried to sympathize with me about stuff in their own life and everything like that. It really helped me a lot. And I tried to help out anyone who approached me just to talk with them about stuff. And that's exactly what I wanted to do from that video. So I really appreciate it. And so this next episode is going to be my descent into the 2D world. I'm gonna try and keep this. I know it's fucking cringy as fuck to talk about, but I'm gonna try and keep it the least cringy as I possibly can. But basically, how this went down. I guess this point in my life, it was about last November, and Exalt ended, and I joined Darth. Is kind of what happened in the Call of Duty community at that time. So, at the time, I had, if any of you guys follow my private Twitter, a lot of you guys know that I've had feelings for this girl that I went to school with for quite a long time, and she is a really big weeb. Like, she's one of the biggest people that are into anime that I know. So, me being that person, I was like, alright, fuck it, I'll try it out. And on Twitter, a lot of people were telling me to watch it and stuff, because I joined Darth, and Darth had that reputation of a lot of people watching anime in it and stuff like that. And, but before that, like, when I was in Exile, and even before that, I had the mentality of hating anime. Like, I hated seeing pictures of it on my timeline, all that stuff. I'm sure you could find plenty of tweets of me talking shit about it before I started watching it. I was one of those people, and, whatever. But, so basically, like, the first experience I had watching anime was, when I started, I went to this girl's house, her friend's house, for, like, a party over Halloween, and we were just kind of chilling, and she was just like, hey, we should try and get you to watch some anime or whatever, because she really wanted to. I was like, alright, whatever, fuck it. And she got me to watch like an episode or two of Death Note and Dead Man's Wonderland and Attack on Titan, which are like, three really popular ones and big ones or whatever. And it caught my attention enough to where I was like, alright, whatever, I'll go home, try and watch this shit. And yeah, that's basically how I started watching it. So kind of what happened over the next week, I watched Attack on Titan first. It was alright. I realized that I know what type of anime I like to watch now, but that was like the first anime I watched, basically. And it was pretty good. A lot of action. It looks really nice. All that cool stuff. So that was good. And then I watched Dead Man's Wonderland. Which is alright, even though they left it as a fucking cliffhanger at the end of it. And then I watched, the first show I really got into was Tokyo Ghoul, which is my friend's favorite anime. So obviously I had to fucking watch it. And so I sat down and actually watched it, and for some reason, like, when you watch like a movie that you really fucking enjoy, like the first time you watch it and you are just captivated by it and you can't stop watching it, like that's basically what happened to me with that show. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes and I could not stop. I literally watched the entire first season in a single sitting. And yeah, the last episode of that first season still is just fucking crazy. And that was like my first experience of really hitting the feels when it comes to anime. It really just hit me, and I was like, fuck, dude, this shit is pretty good. So what happened, I guess, after that, I watched another show or two, and basically what I did is I went to Twitter and was like, alright, I'm gonna start watching some anime, give me some suggestions. I'm pretty sure what I watched next, like, I watched Death Note after that, and like I honestly fell asleep like several times while watching it. Like, it's a good show, but I just fell asleep a bunch while I was watching it. But I'm pretty sure I went to Twitter, and I think when I first started watching anime, I asked Mr. Jake Salvum for some suggestions, because for some reason he just has that popularity of watching anime, even though he doesn't that much. And so I asked him for some shows. He's like, alright, have you seen Code Geass? And I was like, no, I haven't seen it yet. So it's one of those shows that you have to fucking watch. So I sat down and I started watching the first season of it, and I I watched like 15 episodes in one sitting or whatever, and then I went over and I finished the first season and part of the second season. I basically watched the whole thing in 3 days, all 50 episodes, and I realized at this point that like I was getting like at this point I was getting sick of Call of Duty. Like once eXalt ended and I joined Earth, I just had this period of this lull of just I don't want to play Call of Duty anymore. So I used that to really I used anime to really pull myself away from playing video games for a little while, for a few weeks during this time. And also, this was around the time when my anxiety started to kick in really badly. So I just used anime to I guess just fucking not really hide what I was feeling, but to like be able to express these type of feelings, these feelings that I had towards something artificial, like you know when you watch like you know people watch like sad movies because they want to cry, like it's that type of thing. So like I was using anime to try and make myself feel happy and at first and just stuff like that. So you know I watch Code Geass, and you know anyone who's seen the show, it has its ups and downs, and it has sad moments and stuff. And you know I experienced my first dead waifu syndrome type of shit, and you know, and I just realized that this stuff really affects me, and I've never really had that feeling with any type of media that I've ever had. Like the only time before I started watching anime where I was actually genuinely sad watching was me watching Saving Private Ryan, and there's one particular scene in there when their captain or whatever has them storm this little bunker on a hill or something, and they storm it and basically kill all the Germans, take a couple captive, and then their medic gets shot by a machine gun a couple of times, and he gets surrounded by all of his buddies, and he realizes he can't be saved because it's hit some of his major arteries and stuff, and he basically just lays there crying to his mother and with all of his friends around him. And you know that it's so sad, and that was like I had those kind of feelings. And the weird thing is that like I don't feel that way about things when I should have, and I've been very lucky in my childhood, and I haven't had really really shitty things happen to me, like people dying and stuff like that. The only time I've ever had any experience with death is when my dog died last year, and that was rough. It was really rough, and you know that was the first time I've actually cried a lot in quite a while when that happened. And that I honestly think that's the last time I've genuinely actually bawled my eyes out. Since then it's been over a year, so it's just I'm not the type of person to cry, and I'm not the type of person to feel these type of emotions. But for some reason, this medium of anime is what's causing me to do this. So when I finished Code Geass, the next thing I was recommended was Your Lie in April. Now, everyone who follows me on Twitter knows me that I have an obsession with this show. It is my favorite show. It's what started me down this path of me watching romance animes for the most part. But something about that show, like the first time I watched it, I started watching it at about like 10 o'clock at night. No, it was like 10 or 11, and I literally watched it until 9:30 in the morning. Just straight. I watched the entire show in one sitting because I could not stop. This was like literally one of the first things I've ever watched where I just could not stop watching. I had to work the next day at 3 o'clock, I'm pretty sure, and I remember it being like 6 a.m. and just like I got a few more episodes. I gotta finish this shit. I can't stop. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but we all know how it ends. And it broke me. It really broke me. Like, I had just this general feeling of despair for several days after watching it. And, you know, it sounds cringy. It does. And thinking about it myself, it's just like, why do things like this make me feel this way? And it makes me wonder, because, like, I don't feel that way about anything. And I just haven't had those feelings for anything, ever. So it just makes me wonder. Yeah, sorry if you hear my cat out there. But, so when I watched that, just that show really affected me, and it really hit me deep. And several weeks after that, even I still like I could still watch the final episode and still almost cry. Like, I'm gonna be straight up. The first time I watched it, I cried for like quite a while after I finished watching it, and it's just fucking crazy. And so basically, after I watched that, I took a couple days break, and I was just fucking depressed. I mean, I was already feeling kind of depressed at the time, but when I watched that, it literally destroyed me. Like, it just put me down to a new fucking level of just I don't know how to feel anymore. So I took a break, and I watched some more, and then I went back and watched another show that was recommended to me, Mirai Nikki, or Future Diary. And yeah, as you guys know, is I fucking love her. She's my she's my fucking waifu, man. But seriously, something about that show really affected me too. Like, I watched these two shows literally back to back, and I watched both of them in one sitting, and something about that show and her character just really, really hits me. And I'm not gonna sit here and explain 20 minutes about it, but I just really fucking love that show and her character, and I just can't get enough of it. I've watched that show literally at least 10 times, and I own I'm gonna say it, I own the fucking Blu-ray for it and all that stuff. Like, it's my second favorite show besides Your Lie in April, but I just fucking love watching it over and over again. And yeah, so this is the point where I realized I really enjoy this. Like, I cannot stop watching it. And during that time, I didn't play Call of Duty very much. Maybe it was like once a week, twice a week, and it wasn't for long. And I was just, every time I played Call of Duty, I was just getting fucking sad, and I couldn't stand playing. So I used anime as an outlet to get away from that and to try something different. So basically, since then, I've gone down this path of basically watching straight romance animes, and so I don't know why. I think it's because, like, a lot of people, like, people who follow my private Twitter and stuff know I'm a pretty fucking sappy guy. I'm just, I really enjoy that type of stuff, so I think that's why I like watching romance type of stuff. But it's just kind of weird to me. Like, I really don't like watching, like, rom-coms and stuff when it comes to, like, movies, but it's just this particular medium of anime that really affects me, and I just really enjoy watching for some reason. So, like, I've watched shows like more rom-coms like Nisekoi, Toradora, other shows like that. And then there's the past little bit I've been watching more drama-orientated romances, which that just hit you in the feels and make you sad. Like, originally I watched Clannad and Clannad After Story, and now I've watched True Tears and White Album 2, and there's been quite a few. I just can't remember the actual names off the top of my head, but there's a lot of these shows that have just hit me deep for some reason. Like, it's just I'm gonna keep saying the same thing, but it's just I don't have these feelings with anything besides anime, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know if I've just been able to open myself to feel this way and sympathize and empathize with these characters and just doing stuff like that just for this medium, because I don't know what it is. It generally makes, there's times where I've watched shows and it makes me so fucking sad. Like, I don't get it. And for stuff outside of that, like, I know on Twitter I'm a cringy bastard, and I like making a lot of anime tweets, and some people hate it, some people find it hilarious. It's whatever. And that's just the kind of person I am. And I'm not trying to sit here saying I'm like the biggest weeb ever, like, because I'm not. I've only seen like 45 seasons of shows, which is quite a bit, but it's not a lot. Like, there's a lot of people that have seen way more than me that are way more into Japanese culture and stuff. Like, I'm just a guy that enjoys watching romance anime, and that gives him the feels. So, that's been kind of my dive into anime, and it's been an interesting ride. And the past month or two, I haven't been watching it as much because I've been actually motivated for once to play Call of Duty. So it's been on the back burner, but I try and watch it whenever I can. I'm trying to watch more. I'm trying to rewatch a couple of shows that I haven't watched in a couple of months, like Sakurasu is something I'm trying to rewatch right now. and stuff like that, just to put me back through that experience again, because that show was fucking amazing. So yeah, I really can't think of anything else I want to say. Just anime just really fucking hits me for no reason, and I can't explain it. So if you feel the same way, maybe you don't feel the same way, if you have any opinions of what I've said, put it in the comments, hit me up on Twitter. You know how that is. If you have any ideas for my next episode of this, please let me know. I'm really interested to actually get some topics from you guys and talk about some weird or crazy shit, because that's kind of why I want to do this. So, yeah, so I ranted for 15 minutes about watching anime and how it makes me feel. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in my next upload, whenever that is. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later.